Welcome back to another edition of Strengthening Oklahoma. And this edition of Strengthening Oklahoma is brought to you by the Winston in Norman. The Winston's got great food, better drinks, and the best patio in Norman. Visit thewinston.com to see their menu or order online. Closer and closer to the season, the regular season final against Texas Tech, but we still got to look back and recap that 28-13 Bedlam victory, and a big piece of that is our guest here today, man that made me look smart on the broadcast, showing his range, showing his playmaking ability, getting a sweet interception, Mr. Billy Bowman. Billy, hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving, man. Thanks for joining us. How you doing?
Yes, sir. Hope y'all had a happy Thanksgiving too. I'm doing great.
We love to hear that. So on the broadcast, they had me do impact players for the game and the pregame. It's like a sold item that I got to do. And I had you as my impact player for the defense. And I was talking about your range and playmaking ability. So I really appreciate you making me look like I at least have some clue as to what I'm doing. That play in particular, well, before we break down that play, just overall, how good did it feel for you guys to avenge last year's loss and win Bedlam this year and secure, as Coach Venables calls it, this state championship?
Yeah, it felt great, especially getting that taste out of our mouth from last year. I don't know, something different was in the air. I could feel it the night before that something special was going to happen, and you could see what we could put together in that first quarter when all three phases were clicking.
So I thought, and you're right, that first quarter, all three phases were clicking, but defensively, you guys played well all night long, kept having to go back out there on the field. But one thing that stood out to me, Billy, it was like in that third and fourth quarter, you guys were pretty much having like a dance party there in the huddle before y'all went out back onto the field. Like, could you just feel the confidence, the energy? That wasn't something I had really seen all season long. It seemed like you guys were as confident as you've been all season on defense.
Yeah, we were, and like I said, the energy just felt different. I don't know what it was about it, but something had clicked, and I feel like it's going to be a good stepping stool for us to finish out the season and to carry over into next year.
It seems like you guys are starting to come together. You go back 3 of the last 4 games, you're putting it together. Iowa State, you guys played really well on the road. Baylor, that was a little bit of a step back, especially with some of the run game stuff in the second half. But then you guys played well in Morgantown, and you played your best game against Oklahoma State. Does it kind of feel like things are building and you guys are really, playing your best football of the season right now at the end of the season?
Yes, that's exactly what it feels like. I feel like each week, even though it may not seem like it, based on scoreboard views, we are getting better and better each week. And so as long as we know that, and that's what the film tells us, we're just going to keep going and keep pushing, and then, just do our part, and hopefully everything else will click and we'll just become a solid team.
Yeah. Now it's all about improving each week, man. Now, before we move on to Texas Tech, walk us through that big time interception. It looks like he's wide open. You come out of nowhere, man. What were you seeing? And just kind of walk us through that play.
Yeah, it was one of the blitzes that we had put in for this week that we practiced it all week, and it's a corner blitz. So it's cover 2 replacing that side that the corner is blitzing from. And so all I seen was my coaching point was to be as deep as I can to make it look like we're a man, and then I had to slide over into the boundary. And once I looked over at the receiver over there, he was just like this, like holding his hand up, like, look, I'm wide open. And then the blitz got to the quarterback, and that affected the quarterback, and he put it out there, and I was able to go get it.
Showed some great range, ball skills, and it was a huge play in that ball game. And you're right, receiver's wide open. He's like doing jumping jacks, and by the time Spencer Sanders realizes it, it was too late. You had already made your break, and you made a heck of a play, man. That's really, really well done and executed by y'all's defense. All right, Bedlam was great, bowl eligible. All those things are awesome. but I know you guys want to close out the season with some momentum. How important is that? And just the talking point from Coach Venables this week about closing the year, not just with that Bedlam win, but closing the year with multiple wins as you hit bowl season?
Yeah, it's not the season any of us wanted. So we just have to find it inside of us to finish. Going down the Lubbock is going to be a tough place to go play in. They're fighting for the same things we're fighting for. I think they have the same record as us. It's going to be their senior night, so it's going to be a wild environment, and we're going to have to go out there and put the fire out.
You mentioned the environment, and with it being your true sophomore year, you've never been to Lubbock, right? I don't know if you ever went there as a high school kid, like on a visit or anything like that. I don't think you did. What have you heard about that atmosphere y'all are walking into on Saturday night?
Yeah, you're right. I haven't been there, but I've heard that the fans get to going crazy early. As soon as we walk in there for pregame, I heard something about throwing tortillas and stuff. I don't know. I know that they rush the field after big victories, so everybody wants to beat Oklahoma, but we just can't go down there and beat ourselves.
They'll throw tortillas, batteries. There'll be signs.
I heard that too.
They'll be doing everything they can to get your attention because the student section's right there behind where you guys sit. So I think it's great though. Like I kind of embrace and love to play in those kind of environments, especially when you play well and you shut them up. There's nothing better than situations like that. On the tape, what do you see from this Texas Tech offense? We've seen 3 different quarterbacks this year. Donovan Smith started. They went to Baron Morton. Now it's Tyler Shuck, who's back after a little bit of an injury. But what do you see from this offense overall, regardless of who's playing quarterback?
Regardless of who played quarterback, they're like a top 10 fastest tempo team in the country. So they're going to get lined up fast. That's what they pride themselves on, is hopefully they can get lined up faster than the defense can get adjusted. And they have, I would say their receivers are their core of their offense. Their 2 outside receivers are like 6'5". So they have great receivers, and they're an air raid team. They started the air raid back in the early 2000s. So, I mean, we're going to have to go out there and, stop the passing game, stop the run, of course, and get lined up. That's the most important thing. Get lined up.
Yeah, get lined up, be ready to play, man, because you're right. They go fast now. While Zach Kitley, their offensive coordinator, he traditionally likes to throw it all over the yard, right?
Mm-hmm.
But these last couple weeks, man, they've been leaning on that run game with Sir Roderick Thompson and Taj Brooks a little more, and Tyler Shuck has kind of added to it at the quarterback position with doing something with his legs. You mentioned it, but how important is it going to be, first and foremost, that you guys stop their run game and then kind of make them a one-dimensional offense, just like you were able to do in Bedlam?
Yeah, I feel like stopping the run is important each and every week. And so, like I said earlier this week, that the D line will complement the secondary, and the secondary complements the front line. But they do have 2 good running backs, and I feel like if we can stop them, we can make them one-dimensional. And then, like we proved against Oklahoma State, if you try and air us out, we can make you pay.
What about one receiver in particular I'm intrigued with is one Miles Price. He's a smaller guy, shifty, really good with the ball in his hands. Just in the way they'll use him on some jet sweeps and motion and stuff. As far as he goes, just kind of the challenge when he's got the ball in his hands, getting him on the ground.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Well, first off, me and him go a little whiles back. We're from around the same area in high school, and so I know him. But none of that matters on Saturday. We can talk after the game. But yeah, he's a great guy, great slot guy. Shifty. They like to get him the ball quick, fast. Let him do stuff with the ball in his hands. So I mean, you just rally to the ball and kill all that stuff fast.
I like it. And then last one for me about Tech. You look at you're finally back healthy. Do you feel 100%? Do you feel as comfortable as you've ever felt in this defensive scheme? Like, do you feel like everything's coming together for you individually? I know you're worried about the defense as a whole, right? I get that. But for you individually, do you feel like this is the highest level, the best you've been playing so far this year?
I definitely do feel like this is the most comfortable version of me, just going out there and playing, eliminating all distractions. And it's just been easy when you're having fun with it.
I'm totally with you. And you're playing great. I mean, obviously the pick highlights it. Knee brace wise, how is it? How do you feel with that? Like, I got to tell you, man, I hated they forced us to wear those things in practice. And like game days was like, it was amazing because you got to take those babies off. I mean, you're flying around and you still got that knee brace on. Does it bother you at all, or it's just like no big deal at this point?
Uh, it doesn't really bother me, but I mean, it's starting to get pretty annoying just knowing that it kind of restricts my stride a little bit. But when I'm out there, I'm not really too much worried about it. But I am ready to take it off. I just I just feel like finishing off the season with it won't hurt me, just knowing that I have more time to come.
Keep it on. Keep it on. I was not in any way insinuating you should take it off. I was just saying that, man, gosh,
He's
those
just
things
saying
can
it
be
looks like
annoying.
trash, Billy. That's what he's saying.
But you still look good. Like,
trash.
it's impressive.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like trash. I know how annoying they are. You're still out there rolling, man. It's impressive.
Yeah. My knee doesn't hurt anymore. But I really just wear it for stability, just not being comfortable without it on yet.
I
question.
Now, one thing we forgot to ask about Bedlam: the kickoff return, the throw.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah,
we completely forgot, dude.
Music City Miracle.
Look at you. How many times did you guys practice that? And when you go out there and you execute it, is it one of those where you tell Nunez, anybody that has a hand in that kickoff return, you're like, I told you I could do it? Because dude, that was a dart to Marvin. I was really impressed.
Yeah. He came up to me early in the week. He asked me if I could throw. I was like, yeah, of course I could throw. And so he's like, all right, we're gonna put it in, and we practiced it about, I would say, 5 times live. And I mean, it went exactly as planned. So we executed it good.
It was impressive, man. Great throw, great execution, and shades of the Music City Miracle back in the day. I
He's
thought
too
that
young,
was
man.
awesome.
He doesn't know what that is.
Oh, come on, man. Everybody knows what that is.
Yeah, no, I might not know. Is that from the NFL?
Tennessee Titans in a playoff game. It's how they won the game.
I know what that is. Yep.
I believe, was it Frank Wyman might have been the one?
Wycheck to Kevin Dyson.
Frank Wycheck throwing it across 87. That sent them to the Super Bowl, man. They went to the Super Bowl after that play.
I've seen that. I've seen that before.
Pretty big play, and it's a pretty big game coming up for you guys this weekend in Lubbock, Texas. All right, let's get to some fan questions. Fan questions brought to you by Love's Travel Stops. Visit loves.com for more information on the nation's leading travel stop network that's headquartered right here in the great state of Oklahoma. Stephanie R. wants to know, where does Thanksgiving rank in your favorite holidays? I love that question from Stephanie R.
My favorite holidays, I would say number 2. Christmas, like almost anybody else, is their favorite, which is my favorite. And then I would say Thanksgiving is my second favorite. Getting around with family. My mom's side of the family lives here in Norman, so I'll be staying here. My parents already came down, and then the food, of course. You can't go wrong with some good food.
Family, food, and football on Thanksgiving is hard to beat, man. It is hard to beat. Christmas is way up there with me, but I will say 4th of July, strong. 4th of July is strong.
I got a question for you. On that note, you're from the same area as me. We're probably 10 minutes from where you grew up and I grew up. Did you grow up a Cowboys fan? Dallas?
No, I didn't grow up a Cowboys fan. I've really always been a players type of guy.
All right, let's turn this thing off. Let's I've had enough here with Billy. I'm just kidding.
One more for you, Billy. This comes from Ryan H. And this is something we asked you a little earlier in the week, but it's an important question. You get one plate, let's just say a normal big plate for Thanksgiving. What's going on it? Remember, space is very valuable on this plate. What's going on it?
my dream play.
Yeah.
Sure.
Exactly. Your ideal Thanksgiving holiday plate of food. What's going on there?
Oh, plate. Oh, plate. I like turkey. I like turkey. I like some good cornbread.
Yeah.
What else? I like some good mashed potatoes. Mac and cheese, of course,
Ooh.
and then some good stuffing to set it off. And then I would say, I really don't drink too much of anything else but Gatorade and water, but I gotta go with something to drink, maybe sweet tea mixed with lemonade or something.
Okay.
I was
Arnold
thinking
Palmer.
like
Sure.
yeah, I forget how young these guys are sometimes, man. I was like, okay, yeah, what we talking Pinot Noir or Pinot Grigio? Like, where are we going here? But I like that little the drink's key. Like you gotta have your go-to drink with the meal. That's an underutilized answer. Well done.
I got to tell you too, it just shows the difference because I'm sure after you get off here, Gabe and I will talk for about 15 minutes about what's on our plate of food. Like fat guys like us, like it's a much more detailed, very well thought out plate. Whereas like you skinny in shape guy, you're like, just, a couple of things here or there. Like, man, us big guys, I got like 10 different things on my plate at minimum on Thanksgiving, but regardless, everybody loves Thanksgiving, and it's a great time to be thankful for so much, which I'm sure you are. And I know we all are, especially getting a chance to watch you take the field now that you're healthy and help this defense round into shape, man. Best of luck in Lubbock this weekend. Best of luck trying to bring the Sooners yet another victory, man. Congratulations on your success this year and continued health, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Our big thanks to Billy Bowman for joining us. And now it's time for me and my man Gabe to break it down. The breakdown brought to you by the Oklahoma Proton Center. It's one of the top cancer centers in the region using state-of-the-art proton therapy. Oklahoma Proton Center, more than a cure, quality of life. All right, I want to get right into what we were just talking about. Love Billy Bowman. He's playing phenomenal. I mean, kid's playing great. But his selection for a Thanksgiving Day plate stinks. I don't want to tell him that, but it just does. Like mashed potatoes and macaroni. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like
there's
you can get that any day of the week.
There's a place for those on there.
Sure, right? But come on. All right, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you mine. All right, because I had to do mine early this week because with my game here on this Friday, I had to do mine on Wednesday and. Turkey, of course. We also do a turkey and ham, typically a honey ham. So both of those are on the plate. And I'll even go with the white and the dark meat, like it all, like just a smorgasbord of meat. Can't go too much, kind of have to stack it. Green bean corn casserole is my favorite casserole my wife makes. Ooh. Definitely a big serving of that. Some form of sweet potato casserole. Sometimes it's whipped. This year we had it chunky with a ton of brown sugar. That's always on my plate. Best believe there's a deviled egg that's going to be.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I don't care if you want to go cranberry sauce or jellied cranberry. There's going to be some form of cranberry on my plate. That is definitely happening. This year we had a salad. It was a kale salad with a little bit of craisins mixed in, some almonds. It was delightful. You can sneak in some mashed potatoes. Definitely had some stuffing with a little bit of just a drizzle of gravy on top. Use the cranberries. Use the cranberry sauce on top of the turkey is almost like a layer just to give it a little bit of flavor. I would say that's a pretty good starting point for me. I didn't even go mac and cheese this year. Like there wasn't enough room. I backed off, let it stay for the kids, but the plate was plentiful and definitely went back for seconds on my plate. So there you go.
There's a multiple course situation that happens.
And by the way, it's cab. It's cab for me. So you're asking about the vino.
Yes.
Cab is what I had going down.
Well, wine is the most important Thanksgiving side. There's just you cannot convince me otherwise. Some good wine on Thanksgiving gets me going. But turkey and ham, I'm with you. My wife goes with the sausage stuffing, like the maple sage sausage stuffing. It's fantastic.
That sounds amazing.
Sweet potato casserole. I like a little sweet to offset the insane amount of sodium I'm consuming with all the other stuff. It's a good green bean casserole. I'm all aboard that. Mac and cheese, all aboard that train as well. One thing that I think is huge, like the rolls, man. Like the rolls, that's where you can go down a deep, dark hole on Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
Butter
or no butter?
It's like a 4 or 5 roll situation for me.
You butter them up or no butter?
Oh, hey, I would say an offensive amount of butter, but that's just me. But yeah, there's really nothing bad on Thanksgiving. That's what makes it great. It's like you get a little bit of everything. And I eat like 6 plates on Thanksgiving. It's like everything, like we are completely off the rails. That's how it goes.
And then we had pecan pie, we had pumpkin pie. My mom makes an egg custard pie. Ooh. There was also somebody, my sister-in-law, I believe, brought it was a rum and walnut pie. It's kind of essentially like your pecan pie, but it was like a rum flavored walnuts. And then my wife made a pumpkin spice trifle. And let me just tell you, I don't want to know what she put in there. I don't need to know what she put in there. It was delightful. All right. We did just spend like 8 minutes talking about food. Like, are we fat kids? Yes. Yes. Are we linemen? Yes. Do we love Thanksgiving? Yes. And the family and football is great, but a couple of guys like you and me, the food, it's tough not to be in the top spot. Let's talk some Sooners here before we get out of here. And man, this weekend, by the way, be sure to check out 3:30 ABC today as you're hanging out on Black Friday. You'll have North Carolina State. Dave Pasch, Tom Lugeman, myself will be on the call. A lot of great football games in action today and throughout the weekend. Like this rivalry weekend, it's kind of weird that we don't have Bedlam. We obviously already had Bedlam, but obviously with the evening game in Lubbock, it's a big game for the Sooners, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But I absolutely love Thanksgiving weekend for the football. And I love the fact that I got a Friday game, and I'm going to be back home tomorrow morning by 9:30, and I'm going to be sitting on the couch all day, feet up, watching my wife frolic around, put the Christmas decorations up, and watching football. So for that, I'm excited. You'll be on the sidelines in Lubbock, and I will be chilling, watching, and hopefully rooting on a Sooners victory. I don't think it's going to be easy, though, man. Like, I think Oklahoma's going to have to play one of their best games to go win. I feel that way. I think they're capable, but I respect this Texas Tech team. I respect what Joey McGuire's done. That's going to be a lively crowd, intense atmosphere, and it's a defense that's much improved. So I think the offense, especially the pass game, is going to have to step up. We talked about that early in the week. And then defensively, getting lined up is important. And I also think continuing to create negative plays. You know, the one thing, Gabe, I think this defense has really done a better job the last couple of weeks. They got 25 tackles for loss in the last 2 weeks. They had 12 in Morgantown, 13 against Oklahoma State, and now 8 sacks in the last 2 games. We thought coming into the year, and early we saw it, that a Brent Venables defense, that's kind of the product of it, right? Aggressiveness, negative plays, but then it kind of went away for a while. They've done a much better job the last 2 weeks doing that. I think that needs to continue because though we're going to see them throw the football all over the yard, they're going to try to run it as well. And I think Tyler Shuck's going to be a part of that in the quarterback run game. So creating negative plays in the run game when Tech decides to run it, I think is a real key for the Sooners defense.
Yeah, and I think they can do it. I really do with what we saw from the defensive line in Bedlam. I think Texas Tech's offensive line is on a similar level to Oklahoma State's. Maybe Oklahoma State's is a little worse, but this is an offensive line that's playing some young and experienced guys, especially on the right side of their offensive line. And they're not exactly coming off the ball and mauling people. They're just, that's not what they've shown themselves to be so far this season. So I think the defensive line is more than capable of playing with some knockback and, like you mentioned, producing those vital negative plays. And really what concerns me more than anything is some of the size they have at the skill positions.
Yeah.
Right? Just because big people are hard to cover.
That's right.
I mean, now I don't think that, and Billy mentioned, right, Jaron Bradley, Trey Cleveland, their two outside wide receivers are 6'5" and 6'4".
Yep.
They also have a 6'6" tight end
Yep.
in Baylor Cup.
Yep.
And while these guys aren't burners by any means, it's hard to cover those guys if Shuck's just going to put it up and let them go try to make a play. It's difficult. These are big dudes. So we'll see how they handle some of that size at wide receiver, but it all comes down to shutting down that run game. While I don't think the offensive line is overly impressive, I do really like both of their backs.
Yep.
Taj Brooks, Roger Thompson.
Yes.
Really elusive, experienced guys, powerful guys, especially you look at Brooks and the way that he's built.
Yes.
In his lower half, man, they're two quality backs that you got to, if you bottle them up at that line of scrimmage, you got to go and make the negative plays because they're pretty dang elusive, especially at the size that both of them are at.
I was going to say Taj Brooks, powerful.
Yeah.
He'll run through you. I mean, he's listed at 5'10". He might be 5'9.5", 230. I mean, he is thick. He is tough to tackle.
A lot of
Roger
thigh.
Thompson, he's better in space. I think, you see him get out in space, got a little wiggle to him, but he's still got decent size. So I'm completely with you. Tackling these running backs will be a key. Miles Price always worries me a little bit. I just think that there's a lot of size, like you said, on the outside, and you got a guy in Miles Price who kind of that punt returner, very good in space, can make you miss type of guy. They motion him, move him around, and is just a guy that they get the ball to him, leads the team in receptions with 42 grabs. He'll get more of that short intermediate looks when they need a first down, they need a play. They'll look to number one. So there's a full complement of weapons for this offense. Tyler Shuck's been interesting throughout his career. Whenever he came from Oregon, there was a lot of expectation. He's shown some good moments. He's also had some bad moments. I don't think he handles pressure great. That's the one reason, I think that, and they get the ball out quick. There's some situations where they're going to snap it, get the ball out quick, and there's really oftentimes no way to get pressure. But when they're going to sit back and do more of true drop back, or he's got to read something out, he's got to have more long developing routes. I think being able to generate and create pressure on him will be key because he does not handle or deal with that, and he will throw the football to the other team. So it's going to take a good defensive effort, man. When you go on the road, you got to be able to play good defense. And to Oklahoma's credit, the last two times they've been on the road, Iowa State, West Virginia, not saying those are juggernauts of offenses, but they've gone on the road and they've played well. And that needs to continue here in this ball game. And one thing I thought they did particularly well against Oklahoma State, they got off the field. Between third and fourth down, Oklahoma State was a combined 7 of 24. That's where you want to see those numbers fall into. That's right around 30 or below 30%. That's top tier in college football. Whereas a lot of times this year, they have not gotten off the field. So when you get in those spots, finding a way to make plays, is so vital. And really keeping their offense off the field, allowing your defense to rest because they're going to snap it a bunch. They're going to go super fast, and getting off the field in crucial spots, third and fourth down, it's always at a premium, and it will be in this game as well. I got to tell you though, man, I really think as much as anything, defense is obviously a key. The offense in the throw game's got to be more efficient. They have not been. First quarter last week was phenomenal. Go back to the game in Morgantown. They struggled. It was not a good performance for the throw game, and it's not all on Dylan, but just the pass game in general. To me, that's going to be one of the bigger keys. They're going to have to step up and play better than they've played the last two games for Oklahoma to go on the road and get a win.
It's no doubt, and this is the way I've been putting it. Texas Tech's better than I want them to be.
They're good, man.
They're not. They are not a bad football team, and they are a much better football team at home. They've played at a much higher level. They're at Jones AT&T Stadium, so Sooners better not be thinking, "Hey, they're just going to walk in there and leave with a win." It's going to be a hard-fought battle. I think think turnovers are going to be huge. Can you value the football? Can you take care of it? And then can you take it away? Right? Because there's no doubt that's been an issue for Texas Tech's offense. Now, not Shuck in particular, although I still have my questions about where his arm strength is at coming off that collarbone injury. But I think that it's one of these games. It's gonna be the margins, man. Can you get off the field on third down? Can you force some field goals when they get in the red zone? What's the turnover margin look like? But as far as the defense, we were really hoping when they played the way that they did against Iowa State that would carry over to Baylor, right? It did not. My hope is that the momentum they got from that Bedlam performance defensively carries over, and that we see a similar performance. That's my hope. We'll see what it looks like, but it's an exciting game, man. It's a 2-point spread for a reason.
It is. And I'll just say on that note, the defense, like if you take a chunk look at the last 4 games, there's reasons and signs for progress. Like they've shown it. And hopefully we see more of that on the road. It's going to take a really good effort. And I'll just say this lastly. You don't want to go into your bowl game with the chance to have a losing season.
No.
Because if you lose this game, you're 6-6, and you don't win the bowl game, that's a losing year. Like that can't happen in Oklahoma, period. You win this game, you got a chance to win 8, and you guarantee yourself a winning season. Like that's why I know maybe for some that doesn't matter. Like I do think that matters to the staff. I think that matters to these players. So there's a lot on the line. There's a lot to play for, and I'm going to be sitting at home with my feet up watching on Saturday night. Can't wait to see what it looks like in Lubbock, Texas. What's 6:30 kick,
nice.
I believe, right? 6:30 FS1. I'll be looking for you down there, roaming the sidelines, Mr. Ikard. Big thanks to Muse Growth Strategies for continuing to help us spread the word about strengthening Oklahoma. Check out our podcast on YouTube, wherever you find your podcast, and be sure to hit that subscribe button. You can check out our website, strengtheningok.com, continue to contribute, or just check out what our players have going on that are members of Strengthening Oklahoma. It's Thanksgiving, and we're thankful for a lot, and especially you guys that have been here from day one, that help contribute, that help support what we're doing here at Strengthening Oklahoma. We're thankful, we're appreciative, and we'll see you again next time right here on Strengthening Oklahoma.